United States Army presents The Big Picture, an official report produced for the armed forces and the American people. Now, to show you part of the big picture, here is Sergeant Stuart Queen.
Recently, United States Army motion picture photographers covered the highlights of an exciting and unusual maneuver. Operation Danville. The film they shot in Danville, Virginia, is now being made into a documentary motion picture, which will show you how elements of STRAC, the Strategic Army Corps, perform under simulated combat conditions. Operation Danville was the climax to a large-scale field problem known as Exercise Dragonhead, in which more than 11,000 STRAC soldiers tested their brains and their fighting skills against an aggressor force. STRAC troops are geared to handle brush fire war anywhere on the globe. How well they are equipped for their role will be demonstrated by STRAC soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division. Join us now for a look at some of the footage on Operation Danville.
The possibility of limited warfare anywhere is a continual threat to the uneasy peace under which we live. With headquarters at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, STRAC helps guard around the clock against this danger. Exercise Dragonhead is one of the regularly scheduled STRAC maneuvers designed to keep staff, groups, and soldiers ready for anything. The last act in this limited warfare problem occurs with Operation Danville, when 82nd Airborne Division paratroopers liberate that city from a mock aggressor. Danville, Virginia, where more than 50,000 people live and work, is the temporary setting against which STRAC troops play their serious roles. The people of Danville are busy, prosperous, and content, but not complacent. Although international tensions are somewhat removed from their lives, the prospect of war in this uncertain age is not. Danville has long been one of Virginia's primary industrial centers. Giant looms hum at the Dan River Mills, one of the world's largest textile manufacturing plants, where more than 10,000 Danville citizens work. Danville is proud of its quiet residential areas, which surround the business and industrial heart of the city. The many old homes are a reminder of the city's colorful past, when it served briefly as capital of the Confederacy. Modern housing developments form newer sections of the city, a reflection of the growth and prosperity which is part of Danville's character today. The look of Danville is the look of America. It is a look toward enduring prosperity and continuing peace. When Army officials asked Danville to become a part of Exercise Dragonhead, it was not surprising that the city enthusiastically agreed. The exercise would offer everyone a chance to see our modern Army in action and contribute directly to the training of STRAC soldiers. Operation Danville would begin on a day much like any other. The city government operates normally on that day, except that all city officials are prepared to become actors in a frighteningly realistic drama. Mayor Stinson and City Manager Temple meet with Chief of Police James Garrett at the municipal building early in the morning. An impromptu conference marks the last time these men will see each other under normal circumstances that day. At one of the city's 14 tobacco auction warehouses, the morning sale is scheduled as usual for 10:30. Tobacco sales are a major factor in the city's economy, with all of the leading tobacco manufacturers buying on the Danville market. The chant of the tobacco auctioneers sounds strange to the outsider, but to the farmers who bring their crop to market, it is the music of Danville doing business. The sale draws on into the morning as thousands of pounds of tobacco change hands.
American, $4.69, $71.2, $72 export, $69.99, $77.11, Dearborn, $72.233, $74, $75, $55, that's
It is almost like any other day in Danville. Almost, except for one big difference. Today, the enemy will capture Danville.
course, they aren't really enemy. They are our own aggressor soldiers dressed up to look that way. But it gave me a real strange feeling just the same. Those fellas sure looked like they meant business when they moved into town. They didn't waste any time taking over either. Right away, they picked up Chief Guard and hustled him off to a barbed wire prison compound. I guess they figured they could police our city better than Chief Guard and his men. There were sentries everywhere, and all of them pretty tough looking. At the municipal building, one detail walked in like they owned the place, which they just about did that day, and rounded up a bunch of our city officials. The mayor was taken prisoner right at his desk. So was our city manager. It was all in fun, but it made you think. We take so much for granted most of the time, especially our freedom. Some of the prisoners were treated pretty realistically, like those aggressive soldiers almost believed in what they were doing.
The city officials of Danville are fed the regular Army field ration while confined in the stockade. Although prisoners of the aggressor force, they are also guests of the United States Army, which didn't let them go hungry. Aggressor troops patrol the streets of Danville, much as an enemy force would do under a real combat situation. Martial law is declared throughout the city, and many more prominent citizens are rounded up and herded into the stockade. Crowds gather to watch the enemy. In reality, some prisoners would be shot quickly, while the crowds would be ordered to disband and keep off the streets. Everything is different in Danville. Enemy soldiers are throughout the city, and it is clear that the normal routine of most citizens will be sharply interrupted. The first sign that personal liberty will be curtailed comes with the posting of a curfew. Anyone on the streets between 8 o'clock in the evening and 6 the next morning without proper authority will be shot. After making their real intentions clear to the population, the aggressors announce their friendship and peaceful intentions with propaganda. Some of Danville's citizens protest.